Dear students, in this session we are going to discuss the topic CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. The main concepts in this module are Cascading Style Sheet, Need for CSS, Introduction to CSS, Basic Syntax and Structure, Inline Styles, Embedding Style Sheets, External Style Sheets, Background, Manipulating text, margins and paddings, positioning using CSS. So this module takes a total of 8 hours to complete, and for your university examination, 15% of questions are from this particular module. Now we can start with what is. Now we can see what is CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. We can see the terms word by word. Sheet means these are files which contain some data. Style means how to display HTML elements. Suppose we can think about the style of a person. We can define a person's style by the way he dresses, his hairstyle, his body language, etc. We can say that the style of a person depends on how he presents himself to others. In HTML also, style defines how the HTML elements are displayed. These style-related matters are stored in style sheets. So in the corresponding sheets, some styles were added. Now move on to the third term, cascading. Cascading means passing on to a succession. Cascading in CSS means styles can fall or cascade from one style sheet to another, enabling multiple style sheets to be used on HTML document. So the style sheets are used to define how to display HTML elements, and the styles are stored in style sheets. Styles were added to HTML 4.0 to solve a problem. External style sheets can save a lot of work. We can add the style sheets externally to an HTML document, and this can save a lot of work. The idea is that we can use the same external style sheet for some other HTML document. Then external style sheets are stored in CSS files. If we are specifying external style sheets, these style sheets should be stored as a CSS file with .css extension. Instead of .html extension, we have to use .css for external style sheets. Multiple style definitions will cascade into one. Now we can see the need for CSS. This figure shows a real life scenario, and this shows the need for CSS in HTML. HTML only provides the structure of a web document. CSS gives an appealing appearance to our web page. Appearance and look is defined by the CSS. So HTML only provides a structural layer for the corresponding web page with tags like head and body. And in case of HTML, if we are using CSS files, it will make a very good appearance and look to the web page. So HTML is termed as a structural layer and CSS is termed as a presentation layer. We are thinking about what is the need of this CSS. The main reason for emergence of this CSS is this before the HTML 5.0, the previous version of HTML was XHTML. XHTML was stricter, following some stricter standard, and the tags like B, I, U and font are discouraged in strict XHTML. So they think about the HTML developers think about some style giving functions, and they give a way to, or they pave a way to the emergence for CSS. We can see the example P font face Arial, then a word is a slash load, then after that use wood, then D tag is used, I tag is used, U is used, then everything is used, and this type of usage is discouraged, or it should not be encouraged in XHTML. Then comes the CSS. The need for CSS. It describes the appearance, layout, and presentation of information on a web page. So CSS describes the appearance, layout, and presentation of information on a web page. It also describes the content of a page. CSS describes how information is to be displayed, not what is being displayed. So CSS mainly concentrates on how the appearance should be, and it is not bothered about what the content is. So CSS mainly focus on appearance, not in the inner level. CSS can be included in HTML document or placed in separate .css file. So we can implement the CSS either embedded in the corresponding HTML document, or we can keep separate CSS files. Cascading style sheets, a simple design language intended to simplify the process of making web pages presentable. So CSS is a simple design language whose purpose is to simplify the process of making web pages presentable. That is, the basic purposes of CSS is to give a look to the web documents. CSS handles look and feel part of a web page. Using CSS, you can control the color of the text, the style of fonts, the spacing between paragraphs, how columns are sized and layout, and a variety of other effects. So using CSS, we can make a lot of style specification, like changing the color. Then we can specify the style of font, we can set the spacing between paragraphs, so on so forth. It is easy to learn and understand, but it provides a powerful control over the presentation on an HTML document. The CSS cascading style sheet style definitions are very easy to learn and understand. Its syntax is so simple that it provides a powerful control over the presentation of an HTML document. CSS is combined with markup languages HTML and XHTML. So CSS is combined with HTML and XHTML for getting the better appearance. Now we can see the syntax of CSS. A CSS comprises of style rules that are interpreted by the browser and then applied to corresponding elements in your document. So CSS comprises of style rules that are interpreted by the browsers and then applied to the corresponding elements in our document. A style rule is made up of three parts: selectors, property, and value. We will see what is selector. Selector means it's an HTML element at which a style is applied. This could be any tag like h1 or table, etc. So selector means it can be any of the HTML tag in which where the style need to be applied. Then property is there. Property is a type of attribute of HTML tag. All HTML attributes are converted into CSS properties. They could be color, border, etc. So property means it is the attribute of HTML tag where the style to be applied. In the selected part, we already specify an HTML tag. Then in the property category, what we have to do is an attribute. An attribute of the corresponding selected HTML tag in which the style to be applied can be taken as a property. All HTML attributes are converted into CSS properties. So all the selected HTML tags attributes are converted to corresponding CSS properties. Value. The third part is value. Values are assigned to properties. Value means these are the final value given to properties. For example, we are taking the attribute color, the value should be equal to red or blue or something like that. So here the property is color and the value taken by the property is the value. Now we can see a simple example. Here a P is mentioned. Then P here we already specified that style definition has three parts. A selector is there, then property is there, value is there. Here the selector is P. So P is the HTML tag. P in HTML stands for paragraph. So we are applying style definition for paragraph. So P is the selector tag. Then a curly braces is there which indicates the declaration block. So inside the declaration block we can specify what all style definitions to be needed. Now we see the property and value. For the corresponding paragraph, it is taken font size. Font size is chosen as the property and the value specified is X large. So large size font is needed. Then a semicolon is there. Then after that, another property is background color. The value taken by the property is yellow. So here P is the selector, font size and background color are the property, X large and X large and yellow are the values. So this paragraph is styled with two property values, font size and background color. And we can again look at the corresponding rule. After P, a declaration block is there. Then after the first property, a colon symbol is there. Then after the first value, property and value, the semicolon is there. So a semicolon indicates that the corresponding property value is over and we can add another property values. So after the property, in order to distinguish the property and value, a colon is there. So the general syntax is you have to identify the corresponding selector. If selector is there, you can start the declaration block. Then you have to specify the first property. Then put a colon, specify the corresponding value for that property. A semicolon is needed. Then you can add the second property, colon, corresponding value, semicolon. Then after that, the declaration block will be closed. Then styles. XHTML style sheets are called cascading style sheets because they can be defined at three different levels to specify the style of a document. So XHTML style sheets are called cascading style sheets because they are defined at three different levels to specify the style of a document. Lower level style sheets can override higher level style sheets. Style can be applied to text which was enclosed in the selected HTML elements. So a style means it's a set of formatting instructions that can be applied to a piece of text. So what text is? The text should be enclosed in HTML elements. Styles, it can be defined at three different levels. Within a single HTML tag, it is termed as inline style. in the head section and applied to the whole document. That type of styling is termed as global style or document level or internal level styling. And the third level is in external files and can be applied to any document by including the URI of the file. That type of files are termed as style sheets or external level. So we are having three categories of style definitions, or style can be applied to the HTML document in three levels: inline level, internal or global level, and third one is external level. We will explore these levels one by one. First we will see what is inline style. Inline style, the style attributes. So every HTML tag has a style attribute which can be assigned for style definition. A style definition is a list of property value pairs. A property is separated from its value by a colon. Property value pairs are separated by semicolons, and the list is delimited by quotation marks. A property value pair is also called a declaration. Inline styles can only affect the text contained in the corresponding tag. So in inline style, what happened is the style should be defined inside a particular HTML tag. After starting the HTML tag, it contains a property or it contains an attribute called style. Then this attribute, the style attribute, style is equal to, in double quotes, you can specify the property value pairs. After specifying all the property value pairs, close the quotation marks. And you can specify what all text are needed in the corresponding HTML element. Then enclose that particular text in between the start tag and end tag of the corresponding HTML tag. Here there is an example. P style font family. Style is equal to font family sans serif colon color red. So here the inline style means the style should be defined in the tag itself. So in the body of the HTML, we have to include the corresponding style definition. Here the paragraph tag is used, P tag, which stands for paragraph, P. Then it takes an attribute called style, which is equal to, in double quotes, we can specify the property value pairs. Font family, then sans serif is there, color, red. So here two properties are there, font family and color. The values are sans serif and red. And the text, here it is. This is a paragraph and the paragraph tag is closed. So this is a paragraph should appear in sans serif font and it is of red color. Higher precedence than embedded or linked style. So this inline style is having higher precedence than embedded and linked levels, used for one-time overrides and styling a particular element. So this type of inline style should be applicable for a single time and can be used for styling a particular element, specific element. Here the example is there, an HTML file, HTML tag, head tag, title takes a value inline style, then head tag is closed, then body, inside the body, h3. h3 is a header which contains an attribute called style, which contains some style specification for h3 tag, color 0000FF. FF means it should be in blue color, font family is Comic Sans MS. The content to be appeared in that particular style is style example. Then after h3 tag, p tag is there. It contains a style specification. Color, a new color is specified. Font family uses Courier. Font size is 12. Then it can include some text in the corresponding paragraph and p tag is closed. So if you are looking the corresponding example, the style definition is specified in the tag itself. This type of style specification is termed as inline style. So what all data is included in the corresponding H3 tag, it should be in the style definition specified by the style attribute. Here the data is style example. So style example should appear in blue color Comic Sans NS. Likewise the paragraph P. Now we will see the internal style. The second level of style application is internal level or global level or document level. In this level, these are placed at the top of each web page document before any of the content is listed. This is the next best thing to external style because these are easy to find yet allow you to override an external style sheet. You can define the style at the top of the page in the head section. So in this level, styles are placed at the top of the document before any other content. This is another good method. In this method, we can easily find all the style elements since all these elements are existing in the top of the HTML document. In this level, styles are defined in the head section of HTML document. A style can be defined in the head of the document using style tag. The style declaration is placed inside a comment so that it can be ignored by older browsers. So in the head tag, we can include another tag called style tag. For older browsers, these styles are not accepted. For that, we have to comment post style tag. Each style would consist of name of the element that is selected followed by a list of property value pairs enclosed in curly braces. So here also after the style tag we have to specify which is the selector element, then the declaration block which contains the property value pairs. This is an example. Head. Inside the head tag it includes another tag called style tag. Style tag take an attribute called type which contains value text bar CSS. Then after the style tag, after the opening of style tag, P is the selector where style to be applied. P is the HTML tag for paragraph. Then declaration block is open, font family, color. Property value pairs are there, two property and corresponding values are there. Then declaration block of P is closed. Then comes H2 tag. Then here for H2 the property value pairs are there. Here one property is there, background color which takes the value yellow. By specifying all the style required elements in the style tag, after specifying all the corresponding HTML elements, we can close the style tag and close the head tag. Then we can include the body of the corresponding HTML page. CSS code can be embedded within the head of an HTML page. This is a detailed example. So here for this internal level, the style should be specified inside the head tag. We can see the HTML tag, head tag, after that style tag is there. Style tag contains all the HTML elements where the style is required. Here H1 is the tag where style need to be applied. After specifying H1 is the selector. The corresponding property value pairs are included. Color is the property. The value taken is blue. Then font size 28 pixel. After specifying the property value pairs, the declaration block is closed. If any other HTML element need style specification, that can be included. Otherwise, the style tag can be closed. Head tag is closed. Then inside the body, we can use all the tags specified. Here H1 is specified, H1 then split, H1 closed. So for the inside the body of the corresponding HTML page, Adam Smith will be applied, which will be appear in blue color with font size 28 pixel. These are the things which will be defined for H1. So Adam Smith will be appeared in 28 pixel and in blue color. Now we can see the third category of applying style sheets, that is external style sheets. It provides uniform look and feel. These are separate files full of CSS instructions with the file extension .css. When any web page includes an external style sheet, its look and feel will be controlled by this CSS file unless you desire to override a style using one of the other two types. So this is third level of style sheet which provides style definitions, where these definitions are completely external to the HTML document. By the name, it is external to the HTML document file. Then this external style sheets give a uniform look and feel, and this style sheets are separate files with .css extension which contains only style definitions. If an HTML document includes a CSS file, then its look and feel will be controlled by the corresponding CSS file. Styles can be declared in separate files for style sheets. A style sheet is linked to a web document by including the following line in the head section. So for including the external style sheet to an HTML document, we have to use the link tag. Link relation should be specified as style sheet. Then you have to specify the type attribute text bar CSS, then href attribute hyperreference, which contains a URL or path of the corresponding external style sheet. So relation specifies the type of link being used. Hyperreference, which specifies a hyperlink to the style sheet file. Type specifies the MIME type of data. Text bar CSS describes the cascading style sheet type. Now the font color, the foreground color on that particular body web page is red. That is John Adam is in red color, 24 pixels. So this is an example for external style sheet. Multiple style sheets cascade into one. One style will be used when there is more than one style. Browser default, external style sheets, embedded styles, inline styles, styles modified with JavaScript. So we are having different levels of style sheets. In this, it explains what style is used if more than one style is there. We are having different types of styles. Like browser default, external style sheets, internal style sheets, inline, JavaScript. If external style sheets so the priority will be given for if this much of style sheets are applied for an HTML document, the priority will be or the precedence will be given for styles modified with JavaScript, which will override all the other style definitions. If the JavaScript style definition is not there, then the precedence will be given for inline style. Then if inline style as well as this JavaScript is not present, then it gives importance for or it gives priority for embedded style. If the lower three levels are absent, then it gives priority to external style sheet. If all these lower four levels are not there, then the browser default style should be applied. So the higher precedence is for styles modified with JavaScript, then comes the inline style, then comes the embedded style, then comes external style sheet, and finally the browser default. Multiple style sheets can be included in a document. Styles defined in the first style sheet are overridden by corresponding styles defined in the second style sheet. That is, the style sheets are set to cascade. So we can include any number of style sheets in our HTML document. Styles defined by the first style sheet is overridden by the corresponding styles in the second, and it is again overridden by the third style sheet if that is available. That is, style sheets are set to cascade. This is an example. In this example, we can have three CSS files. The company style sheet name is namestyles.css, then departstyles.css, that is department style sheet, and mystyles.css, that is the user style sheet. If the style sheets are included in this order, the user style definition will override the department styles, which in turn override the company styles. So if the first one contains suppose if you are having a paragraph style definition in all the three CSS files like namestyles.css, departmentstyles.css, and mystyles.css. If the first one contains a p-style definition, it will be overridden by the second sheet departmentstyles.css. If the third file also contains this p tag, then what all are the style definitions specified for p in mystyles.css, that will be applied. Lower thing is having, or the most recent thing is having the higher priority. Different style sheets for different media platforms and systems. We can set different style sheets to different media platform and systems. Font size in CSS does not yield same results on different screens. So depending upon the corresponding browsers as well as depending upon the corresponding OS, the font sizes can be different. Browsers allow to customize layout and fonts. Browser will be having the authority for customizing the layout and fonts to be appeared in the web pages. Wishing you all a happy learning. Thank you.